Like, men are so hurtful with no remorse.
So hurt her back. Keep your heart 3 stacks and hurt that nigga back. Mwah.
Hey beautiful people, how you are doing today? It's your girl Destiny here and welcome back to my channel. How you are doing? Hope you guys are doing great. So today's video is a very interesting video and I find this conversation this sister has raised very interesting. So I need you guys to come here and let's have this conversation. So this video is a video of a sister who came online to talk about how she wants to start decentering men. Apparently she went on to talk about how the last relationship she just came out from, how she found out and something just clicked to her that, you know what, men can be very hurtful, spiteful, without no remorse. And she went and talk about how now, like, she's given up that whole idea of getting married, having a child and all that, that she does not want to deal with men anymore. And that, you know what, why is she the one going for therapy for somebody else's behavior when that person does not want to work on themselves, heal themselves, and the person still does not say anything wrong with what they are doing or how they are doing things. And she went on to really go on and on to talk about how, like, she's just going to decenter men, literally. So anyway, guys, I find this conversation, what she's saying, very interesting. So let's go hear what she has to say, then we'll come back and talk.
Hey y'all, I really don't like getting serious on TikTok and I really do not like long videos, but this is just something that's been weighing on my heart and my mind for a couple weeks. A couple weeks ago, something happened to me within a relationship, and it really just opened my eyes as to like how hurtful men are. I've known that for quite some time, but it's like men are so hurtful with no remorse, no care in the world. Like they don't give a f. And it's just becoming a little much for me. Last night was the nail in the coffin, though. I'm not doing a story time because I'm just not going to do that. But men are just so hurtful. And it's like, I no longer have a desire to get in a relationship. I no longer have the desire to get married. Damn near about to give up on my dreams of becoming a mom one day. Like, I can't deal with it anymore, you guys. And I know y'all gonna be like, oh, take a break. I took a break all this year. I done read the self-help books. I done watched Shira 7. It's like, I actually want the love. I don't want to, you get what I'm saying? Like, I don't want to use a man for money. Like, don't want to just use him for what he can do for me, even though that's what they do to us. I just don't want to do that. It should not be this difficult. It's like, I'm not trying to have a disdain for men. I'm not trying to be a misandrist. I'm not trying to H-word men again, but it's like, how could you not? They are so hurtful. They are disrespectful, disloyal, rude, selfish. Think about nobody but themselves. And I'm sure there are some good men out there. I met one before. One. You guys are going to say, oh, maybe it's you. Because I know the men are going to come in and just put it all back on me. They're going to completely dismiss my feelings and put it back on me. I'm used to it. I'm the one actually in therapy working through things and stuff like that. You get what I'm saying? Having to go to therapy for people who won't go to therapy or who don't see any wrong in their behavior. God, I can't do it no more, you guys. I don't want to be involved with men anymore. So I think it's just time for me to just really focus on myself 103,000%. Like, really just strictly lock in on everything that I want to do. Everything I want to do. I don't have time for the games. I don't have time to get my heart broken again. I don't have time to be pulling up on you. Like, I don't have time to be finding addresses and stuff like that anymore. I don't have time, but I can't take it anymore, you guys. It took everything in me last night not to cry, but it's like, I feel defeated. Y'all got it.
Please go down in the comment section and let me know what you think, what the sister said down in the comment section. Go on and share your thought, okay? I find what she's saying really interesting, but this also has gotten a lot of people talking, including men, including women. So I'm sharing this video to two parts. So this part will be women reacting to what the sister said, and then the next part will be the one men's reaction to this. But a lot of women are coming to speak up on this, how to desensitize men and all that. And I find this conversation really interesting, which some of this conversation, we have some of them down in the comment section and some other videos I've posted. Anyway, guys, let's go hear other people's thoughts on this. Then we'll come back and talk.
It really just opened my eyes as to like how hurtful men are.
So I learned this lesson last year, and it's one I recommend everyone learn sooner rather than later. Just yesterday, a friend called me having a panic attack in her car because her boyfriend had called her an hour before and said that he loved her, all of these nice things, and that his family can't wait to meet her for Thanksgiving. An hour and a half later, and this is no exaggeration on the timeline, called her back and said that he is a high value man and that he can do better than her, but she will never be able to do better than him, and that is over, and then hung up before she could even say anything. I've had friends where their date will leave in the middle of the date while they're in the bathroom. I've had friends whose boyfriends will break up with them on their birthday, on days of death, on graduation, boyfriends taking other girls on their birthday trip. And this is just the last year. This is just 2023. Personally, when this happened to me, I decided that I was going to take the next year to not date anybody, and it was the best decision that I could have ever made for myself. I accomplished every single goal that I had this year. Just bought a new car, about to move into a beautiful apartment, happiest I've ever been, more peace than I've ever felt. I'm surrounded by so many different types of love that I don't really feel like anything's missing. And that's not to say that I'll never date again. I'm literally sure that I will. But as a girl who has high standards and values, you cannot vet for a man blindsiding you. I consider myself like very like in the know, and it happened to me. Even looking back now, I'm like, I could have never predicted that. Be careful, invest in yourself. Just invest in yourself. The right person will come along, but be very picky. Do not let everybody just date you. It is not worth it. It is not worth your peace. It is not worth your time. Don't do it.
And it really just opened my eyes as to like how hurtful men are.
I felt this video in my soul as somebody who considers myself to be pretty smart, pretty self-aware. I am wrong about men a lot. And the smarter I think I get and better at reading people, it's always 2 steps forward, 5 steps back. And I think part of it is that, and again, in this video, she says, there's some good men around, right? But I think the issue is the vetting process, which I saw somebody else who stitched this video say, you can't vet when a man is going to blindside you. And that is such a true thing, because you can get to know somebody and you can spend months getting to know someone. And because of the way that men can sometimes really compartmentalize their personalities and emotions, you know what I mean? So that things don't come up, and some things are repressed. But when certain things get turned on, you don't know how vicious that will be. And you can be talking to somebody for months on end and hanging out with someone for months on end, and you will not see that part that's actually really, really dangerous to you until it's too late. And it's something that it feels like you can't get wise enough to escape it. I don't know. And you can I am consistently shocked at how wrong I can be. And it feels pretty impossible to vet for that.
But it's men are so hurtful with no remorse.
So this summer I read Adult Children of Emotionally Immature Parents, and something that this creator said in her video reminded me of this book. It talks about the difference between internalizers versus externalizers. So the men that are super hurtful with no remorse that she's speaking about in her video are the externalizers. And instead of like a normal person internalizing your anxiety and pain, depression, they act it out and they push it onto other people. When they have to face the consequences of their actions, they usually use denial to avoid those feelings of shame. As a result of that denial, they repeatedly feel these hits of low self-worth and a sense of feeling bad. But to avoid total self-hatred, they rid themselves of shame by blaming other people, making excuses, and blaming external factors. So the reason why these people never grow is because as soon as that shame hits, they need to immediately feel better by shifting the blame onto someone else. And the only way to grow and learn and feel peace is by addressing that trauma that's so built up, sitting with the discomfort and learning from it. But because these people are essentially running from themselves, they will never do that. So please, if it's one thing that you take from this video, do not take another person's destructive behavior towards you personally, because I promise you they are just acting out what they feel inside, which is chaos.
I don't want to be involved with men anymore.
Okay, y'all, I've seen this video stitched up and down my entire timeline. A lot of women are talking about this young lady's video. And I listened to it from beginning to end. I feel her frustration. She's given up hope on dating and men in general. Well, specifically, let's just say black men, because I don't want to speak on all men right now. I want to speak on black men because I'm a black woman. Okay. But I want to give y'all some tips. I've been saying this same shit repeatedly year after year. I got a whole YouTube channel. I've had my YouTube channel for about 7 years. Thousands of videos on narcissistic behavior, sociopathic behavior, psychopathic behavior, Machiavellian behavior in black men. When will you ladies listen and follow through? Okay, there's two types of black women. There are those of us that are empathetic, and we're not narcissists. We don't have the full-blown disorder. Everybody has the traits. We live in a narcissistic society. Most of us come from toxic, dysfunctional families where our parents and grandparents were narcissistic. So it naturally, we're going to pick up the traits from being around that type of energy. But as you become a grown woman and you pull away, you break away from your family and you venture out into the world, you start becoming friends and getting into romantic relationships with people with the same personality as the toxic individuals that raised you. That's why you keep jumping from toxic relationship to toxic relationship. You haven't broken the pattern because you will not break free from the same individual that raised you. That's your original hater. That's your original bully. It starts with mom and dad. It starts in the childhood. When you're able to cut them off and set boundaries, then take your ass to therapy and go heal. And healing is a lifelong thing. It's never ending. Don't ever think there's a deadline. Healing is ongoing and it's forever. Yeah. Okay. Your perspective on dating will change once you begin the process of healing. Now, how do you heal from jumping from one toxic relationship to the next? I'll tell you. It is in celibacy, staying celibate, not for a year, years. Okay. Being self-disciplined. When you cut off those toxic relationships with your family members and you understand just how sick and sadistic your mother and father was and how they groomed you and prepared you to fail at life by setting you up to get into relationships with narcissistic men. But a lot of y'all will not cut off mommy and daddy. A lot of y'all are scared to cut off the very same person that groomed you like a piece of meat and fed you to the wolves. Because your parents know that that abuser is going to destroy your life, and where are you going to go? Once you get out that toxic relationship, most of us run back to mommy and daddy for refuge. And they're the sick individuals that trained and programmed us to begin with, to get in these toxic relationships. Cut mommy, daddy, family members off. They're sick and they're never going to change. And they, in a very sick, twisted way, they want to see you fail in relationships just so they can sit back and say, what's wrong with you? You can't keep a man? Your family has got to go. I know it's hard to cut them off, but that's the key to all your problems. You can't even deal with these men or talk about relationship issues until you deal with the culprit that groomed you, prepared you, and set you up to fail in those relationships. Your mammy, your daddy, your grandparents. But we ain't ready to talk about that because y'all scared to cut them the off. I cut my family off 10, 15 years ago, unapologetic, never looked back. It's changed my perspective. Y'all want to know why I'm so headstrong and I don't play about these men? Because I learned to deal with the root of my problems. It came from my mother and father. And with them out of my life, I'm able to raise my discernment. I'm able to see better. I'm able to stay celibate and maneuver and spot toxic people a mile away, not just toxic men, people in general. I can read through them. My discernment is wicked. So when you do start to heal and you feel like you want to get back out into the dating game, listen to me. Those first couple of dates, those first 2 to 3 dates, if he even makes it to the third date, you should be asking serious questions. Serious. This ain't time to be acting cute. A lot of y'all be so in love with the ideal that you're being wined and dined that you miss the whole point of the dating and vetting process. And it is true. You know, no matter how well you vet a man, he still can blindside you even if you do everything correctly. So what you need to be looking for in those first couple of dates is inconsistency, study his body language, and you ask questions about the mental. How do you feel about being screened for narcissistic personality disorder? How do you feel about antisocial personality disorder? Have you been screened for it? What is your relationship like with your mother? Tell me about your father. Was he in your life? Get that out the way, and then you study him. Because once he realizes that you ain't about no bullshit, he's reading you and studying you too. He's studying you on those dates to see if you're a fucking dummy. But if you get on top of your shit and you start asking very specific questions that make him uncomfortable, he will give himself away. He'll give himself away early. And the moment he shows you the first red flag, any sign of inconsistency, cut, block, silently walk away. There's no need to argue. There's no need to call him out for it. No need to explain yourself. You don't need closure. These men know exactly what they're doing. They're very calculated. Narcissists, sociopaths, psychopaths are calculated. They've done this to several women. It's textbook. They get it out the playbook. So you explaining yourself does nothing. Leave silently. Let him believe that he still has you right where he wants you. And you're long gone. He's blocked, all access denied. You got to cut at the first red flag. Now, if you're not ready to date and you're not ready to have sex, don't do it. Because it's vicious out here. But someone like myself that's done the work, done the healing inside and out, I'm very happy. I'm very self-aware. If I don't have a man for the rest of my life, I'm content with that. But I know how to date like a fucking beast. And I will let a dude know I'm on to him without opening my mouth. I will give signals and cues to let him know just how aware I am and that he's not going to get away with shit. And I'll walk away silently. And I'll have him believing that he'll have another chance with me, and I done blocked him. If you want to avoid being played by a narcissist, you need to get more vigilant on those first couple of dates and stop being scared to ask those questions about his mental health. What's his relationship like with his mama? Because if she's a piece of trash, she's controlling, she babies him, coddles him, or he lives with her, or he lives down the street from her, you're in trouble. Get to the nitty gritty at the very beginning. Make him uncomfortable. You got to let him know that you ain't about bullshit. And he will test you. And once he tests you, that's where you disappear and you stand on business. And that's how you eliminate narcissistic men before you attach to them, before that trauma bond sets in. Because that's what he's trying to do initially in the beginning. He's trying to establish that trauma bond. He has to do that through love bombing and intermittent reinforcement. Stop him in his tracks. The first couple of dates, you can do it. It'll sting your ego a little bit when he switches up on you, but that's the sign you need. Cut, delete, move on. If you can date like that, you'll be able to handle these narcissistic men. Otherwise, stay out the game. Don't even jump in there. If you are not ready to process, the ego of being rejected or him switching up on you, you don't belong in a dating game. It's nasty out here. And don't sleep with him unless you want to sleep with him. That's another thing too. I should do a part 2 on this, but I just had to jump on this stitch because I see a bunch of women talking about it. Don't let that change your heart and who you are. There's good guys out there, but it's like finding a needle in a haystack. Otherwise, if you're going to date, you got to date with a vengeance. You got to be cutthroat with it. And you got to let these dudes know up front. You try anything, you blink wrong, you're out of here. Have a blessed day, y'all.
I've known that for quite some time, but it's like men are so hurtful with no remorse.
Okay, y'all, so I just wanted to speak a little bit to what she was saying in this video, because it is true. Like, as somebody who has dating horror stories for literally days, guys are starting to get a little bit more evil with the way they do things. And by all means, I'm not a misandrist, like she was saying in the video. I think men are awesome. I've had some great men in my life. But truly, there is something about the way that guys go about things nowadays that it's really hurtful. And it does make me feel like marriage will never be a thing for me. And if you know me, I love marriage. But like, I don't know if it'll be a thing, because some of the things that the guys do are just so unhinged. And by all means, I'm not perfect, but like, one thing that I love that she said in the video is like, I'm not perfect, but I'm going to therapy. I'm writing in my journals. I'm trying to heal. And I just feel like guys don't do that, and then everything is now put on us. And I'm tired of it, and it is exhausting.
And it really just opened my eyes as to like how hurtful men are. I've known
One word, guys, and that word is reverence. Any man that comes into your life must look at you and feel what is called reverence. That is one thing that you must insist on, and that reverence can only come from self-respect. When I say reverence, guys, I mean fear. A man must look at you and feel fear, but not like, whoa, fear, but fear as in he looks at you and he knows for a second that he doesn't have the liberty to try and mess you about, because of the self-respect that you're projecting from yourself and the standards that you have. A girl said, you can either have standards or you can have a man, but you can't have both. But my question to that is, why can't you have both? And then just completely kick him out your life the second he tries to behave questionably or compromise your standards. Like, I completely understand. I too used to think, oh my God, like, men are getting completely treacherous. They're getting so hard to recognize through the nasty and hurtful things that they're doing to us, yeah? But then I also had an epiphany that, hold on, a man can only mess you about for as much as you genuinely allow him to. Like, if a man is not compatible with your environment, you can literally leave. You can leave. Like, you can walk away. Like, what's stopping you guys from walking away? But I understand it requires a psychological discipline to truly walk and stay away from a man, especially with all these tricks that they try to do on you to get you back or to beg you and say everything that you want to hear. But just understand that those are just tactics. Those are just tactics to try and completely compromise your standards. You need psychological discipline to truly say, nope, I don't like that. You need the discipline to listen to your intuition the second that a man is behaving questionably or hurtful. There's nothing like a woman's intuition, guys. It's a blessing from God. This is something that God has personally given women, and it's her intuition. And once you get in tune with that, once you get in tune with what your body is constantly saying to you about a man, your dating experience will change. Easy, it's light work. Guys, deep it. God has given us everything within our bodies, everything and more, to discern between men, to discern between which men to allow into our life. Because trust me, as a woman, the only thing you have in this world is your boundaries. Trust me. For example, now, if a man starts cheating, you really don't want to tell you. Your PH will tell you. Anyways, you man, I feel like I'm waffling, but all I'm saying is that, like, to all the women out there that are having a hard time, don't be so, like, pessimistic, but rather just be increasingly stern with these men. Like, that's what they need. Like, you need to be very stern.
I've known that for quite some time, but it's like men are so hurtful with no remorse.
If you go back to that video, everything that girl was saying was right. And let me tell you how I learned that lesson 3 months ago. I realized how much the person that I was dating really needed to see me break down to a point where he could feel good and feel needed in our relationship. And I think what I've realized and I've learned is that from this entire experience is that just because a man looks good on paper doesn't mean that he's a good man. And I'm going to go more into it another time. But that's the bottom line. All I'm saying is that the one that, the quiet ones, the one that look low key and you think, you know, they are hurtful, like they are very remorseful. And it's a reason why they have a way of manipulating people that actually knows them to really not hold them accountable. And we're going to get more into that. But the bottom line is men like that, literally, like I said, looks good on paper, but is really a trash dude. and their character is trash. They go out their way to do the most remorseful, hurtful things. And no, I'm not talking about cheating. I'm not talking about, it doesn't have to, it's not even infidelity, but it's just how they will go out their way to bring you so low because they can't seem to understand how you continue to overcome certain adversities, and just ego is just bruised because of you, just it's really ridiculous. But the bottom line is, be careful of the man that looks good on paper, okay? Because not all of them have a good character.
Hey y'all, I really don't like getting serious on TikTok, and I really do not like long videos.
So please watch this young lady's video and see what she was saying. But there's been some things that I've learned over the years that might help with these type of situations. Okay. The first thing is accepting that no matter how nice you are, no matter how healed you are, no matter how pretty you are, no matter how much therapy you've been to, there are messed up people in the world, and you may cross paths with somebody who you can give them your all and they're not going to care, and they're still going to do wrong by you. With that being said, once you accept that, of course it's still going to hurt if you trusted someone and they betrayed you. But once you accept that some people are genuinely messed up out here and they are going to do you wrong no matter what, it helps you heal a lot faster. The second thing is you genuinely have to be selfish sometimes. I'm not saying become emotionally unavailable, but the thing is you have to put yourself first no matter what. You have to realize at the end of the day, you are the most important person in this equation. Because once you have a certain level of self-love, you can now set boundaries. You can now leave when things have gone too far instead of staying in an unhealthy situation. What has really helped me is realizing that at the end of the day, no matter what, no matter how wrong somebody did you, you will be okay. You will be okay. And the thing is, when people show you red flags, when people show you certain characteristics that you know you can't deal with, you have to leave in the beginning before it gets too deep. Because once it gets too deep, it's going to be harder to leave because you have an unhealthy attachment to this person. You have to realize what you want out of a relationship, what you're willing to put up with and what you're not willing to put up with. And if somebody cannot compromise, then you need to get out of there immediately. And lastly, if somebody does you wrong and it hurts you and they never apologize or never take accountability for it, you have to really realize that you are not in charge of giving people their karma. You are not in charge of making people feel like how you feel. You are not in charge of showing people how badly they hurt you. Because at the end of the day, if they are not willing to accept their wrongdoings, then there's nothing you can do about it because they're not ready to accept it within themselves. And while you may not see, the karma to their actions, and while you may not see them hurting and suffering, life works in a strange way. And people who go around doing wrongs to people, they are not happy deep down inside. And I want people to realize that, yes, we are in a time where dating has become very odd. It's become transactional. It's become about who can really one-up each other versus finding real love. And in the midst of all of this, if you genuinely want to find love, you have to love yourself. And I know that's so cliche to say, but, it is very, very, very dangerous out here. And you have to really learn how to guard and protect your emotions, and you really have to have discernment out here because you will continue to be hurt. And if you've been hurt, I just want you to take a deep breath. I want you to heal. I don't want you to be angry or hateful. Realize that at the end of the day, you will be okay. And whatever is meant to happen for you will happen.
That's so cute. Anyway, guys, please go down in the comment section and share your thoughts. Love to know what you think about this conversation down in the comment section. Go ahead and share your thoughts, but please keep it respectful. Here on the channel, we're allowed to disagree, but we do it in a respectful way. Okay? Thank you, guys. Like I said initially before, this video is going to be in two parts. These are women's reaction to their sister's statement. So I'm going to do the men's own next. So you want to stay tuned. So here's my own thought on this, which I'm not just going to make it long. I'm going to leave my own thought for the men's version more detailed. But I agree with what most of these women say is like we as women, when people show us who they are on the get-go, take them for who they are. Don't make excuses on why you should. Because I feel like the longer you stay and make excuses for them, the harder it is for you to leave because you already develop like an attachment to them, and which sometimes can be really like hard. So I have more to say about this topic, but I'm just going to stop here so that this video is not that long anymore. But yeah, some of you guys are asking about my nails. My nails, this is not acrylic, it's a stick-on. I don't know if you guys can see. It's a stick-on. Even this one is about going. It's a stick-on. And I'll look for the pack and probably put it up here. But it's just a random stick-on nails I got from my beauty supply store, okay? Anyway, guys, let me know your thoughts about this topic down in the comment section. Love to know what you think about this conversation down in the comment section. Please go ahead and share your thoughts, but please keep it respectful. Go ahead and share this video with somebody that you want to be part of the conversation, because that's what we do here. We have banging conversation. So go ahead and share this video. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, smash the like button, because this helps YouTube to push out my content for more people to see, and that will be used supporting your girl. With that all said, guys, subscribe if you haven't subscribed, okay? So do all those good stuff. Share, comment, give it a thumbs up, subscribe, because all that helps my channel, okay? With that all said, I will see you guys in my next video. Deuces.